Good day to everyone. I'm Supervisor Richard Shea for the town of Philipstown, for those of you who don't know me. We're living through a time that none of us could ever have imagined. Daily life has become strange to all of us, and there's a good amount of stress to go along with it. Be that as it may, life does go on, and we must all do our part to make the best of it and be the best for it. Now is a time that will test what we are made of and define who we are. Do we come together or pull apart? Do we pull apart or come together to get through this? The residents of Philipstown are pulling together to make sure that everyone is looked after. I've seen it every day in Food Town, or as we know it, the hub of the local universe. The staff has stood up under tremendous weight, making sure that the store is orderly and well stocked. The cashiers show no sign of the stress in what we know is a very hard job. They smile and keep things moving, and I cannot thank them enough for the goodwill and fine work that they are doing for all of us. Our first responders stand ready and prepared to take on whatever comes their way. They realize the situation and the hazards involved, but none even thinks of hesitating when called upon to assist those in need. We should be so proud of our friends and neighbors who will put aside all when the time for action comes. Our public health care workers, nurses, and doctors have seen what has occurred around the world and stand prepared for whatever the crisis brings. Governor Cuomo has called upon our healthcare providers to be ready, to double capacity, and to find a way to treat the people most affected by coronavirus. He's called upon the nation and the world to stand with New York and send medical supplies that we will need. I'm confident that all the physicians and healthcare workers here in the Hudson Valley will rise to the occasion and exceed the governor's expectations. We'll have some of the finest doctors in the world right here in New York, and they will do what it takes to beat back this terrible scourge. To all our great businesses, we know that this crisis is hurting you. We see the closed storefronts and restaurants. I encourage all people who can afford to do so to support the businesses that are still open and purchase gift cards to those that are closed. To all our great town employees, I offer my heartfelt thanks. Keeping the town up and running to provide vital services and information is so important. People are relying on you, and you are coming through for them. So how do we help all those people who seek to help us? I'll tell you. We listen and do what the healthcare experts are telling us loud and clear. We distance. We take care of our most valuable commodity, our health. We wash our hands completely and often. We keep our homes and surfaces within our homes clean. We can all be heroes by sacrificing the routines of our daily lives. It sounds simple, but we all know that being separated from friends and loved ones is not easy, especially at a time like this. Staying at home becomes tedious, if not outright maddening. We live in such a special community with so much to offer that we all become accustomed and perhaps taken for granted all those things. Going out to dinner in one of our great local restaurants on a Friday or Saturday, seeing a movie with a friend, having a drink with people or friends at the local pubs, enjoying an ice cream cone at the waterfront, sitting together in worship and meditation. So much is missing. It's hard, but it is also so important that we separate at this time. I want to speak directly to younger people. We were all young once, including me. I don't feel that way recently, but carefree and invincible. It was great, but oh so fleeting. I realized that you were bursting at the seams to be with friends. So much has been taken from you at this time. Athletics, school plays, band, and every imaginable activity that goes with the most wonderful time in your lives. We all join you in mourning the loss of these irreplaceable moments and hope that the time passes quickly enough for you to regain some of what you have lost. You are probably more important at this time than anyone else. This is because you can be completely well, symptom-free, and still carrying the virus. The spread of the virus must be contained. Without your help, it will be much more difficult. Think of your parents and older relatives and take the precautions that are so clearly spelled out. Social distance. It sounds easy, but it is, as they say, a heavy lift. We've all seen the apparent lack of respect for the governor's orders and the large number of visitors to our park and local parks. Last weekend was a perfect example of what not to do. As much as we love and rely on our visitors, to our town, now is not the time to be going about life in a business as usual way. Please obey the governor's executive orders and stay home. We love the tourists, but now is not the time for tourism. We also asked that New York State Park Departments take a measure of control in the Route 9D corridor. It's up to them to limit the number of visitors and enforce the law. The New York State Department of Transportation will also play an important role in keeping the road passable and safe. This means enforcing the parking laws, removing any car that obstructs safe travel. We can ill afford to have the roads blocked in the event of an emergency when rescue vehicles must not be delayed. The governor and all health experts have stressed the need to flatten the curve. This means allowing the virus to flow over us, but not come all at once like a tidal wave. Hospitals in our area are currently dealing with the situation very well. Our Congressman, Sean Patrick Maloney, is working nonstop to make sure that the supplies we need are brought to us without further delay. I've spoken with him, and believe me when I tell you, his sense of urgency is without question. He will fight for the people in his district night and day until the day comes when this crisis is over. He's been in contact with the Putnam County Health Department and Emergency Operations Center. I know this for a fact because I provided those numbers to him, and also provided the contact people that he should reach out to. His staff has reached out to me no less than 6 times. You can be proud of your local officials. Mayor Dave Morandi, Mayor Michael Bowman, County Legislator Nancy Montgomery, and our entire town board have been working every day to protect the residents of our town. We're in constant contact with the Board of Health, receiving briefings every morning, 7 days a week. We are coordinating with surrounding towns of Fishkill and Beacon. Mayor Lee Kiriakou and Supervisor Ozzie Albro have been so helpful in assisting our effort to control the crowds at the parks. They've also shared vital information from actions in Dutchess County. Information and data are so critical at a time like this. They will drive the supply of much-needed medical devices and personal protective equipment. The data will tell us where the hotspots are and how best to respond to control them. This powerful alliance of intermunicipal leaders will no doubt be of great importance in the coming weeks. I can tell you some of the concrete actions we have taken on a local level to make sure we're doing all we can to bring this crisis to an end. We've had a workforce reduction of 50%. We're working with people in separate offices in order to not spread the virus. We're posting local information on our website from the county, the state, and the federal government. We're also in constant contact with local law enforcement. We've also drafted a local emergency order that gives me the power from the state of New York to limit and prohibit all persons from entering, congregating at all roadside parking at trailheads on the 9D corridor. This law is in effect currently and shall remain in effect until the crisis is over. With all this going on, we are still so fortunate to live in the Hudson Valley. The majority of the world would trade places with us even as the crisis rages on. There are so many on earth who have suffered for decades and will continue to suffer when this crisis becomes a distant memory for all of us. Let us keep them in our thoughts and prayers as we weather our own trials. People will become ill, but the vast majority of them will get better quickly and without hospitalization. Those who do need medical intervention will get it and recover. Some will not recover, but that number is in our hands. We can do a lot to make sure that it's very low. We must follow the orders of our doctors like Anthony Fauci and distance ourselves from one another. We need to be heroes and stay at home. For those of you who need assistance with things like getting groceries or help with copays for prescriptions, the town of Philipstown is here for you. You can call our town hall at 845-265-5200. We've been given a grant by an incredibly generous family and are able to help those in need at a time when people have lost their jobs and their paychecks. There are no barriers to this assistance, and there should be no hesitation in reaching out if you need it. Please do not call 911 unless you are experiencing an actual emergency. The county has set up a 211 phone number for information. You can also visit the Putnam County website, the New York State website, the CDC website, and the Philipstown website. I urge you to listen to the governor's daily press conference. It is very informative. I realize that we are all deeply concerned about the coronavirus. I want you to be reassured that so many people are working on your behalf to fight this disease and support your safety. We will get over this, and when we do, we'll have gained an incredible appreciation for our good fortune to live the lives that we are blessed with, to enjoy the simple pleasures of being with family and friends. Together we can hasten the time toward that. It depends on the choices we make every day. I'm sure that we will all join in the fight and follow the advice of medical experts. Be a hero and social distance. Check on your neighbors to make sure they are well. Be the person that stays steady, instills confidence in others, and weathers the storm. I join with all our local leaders in wishing you health and peace in your lives. Be well, and until that time comes when we can take each other in a warm embrace, I am sustained by your goodwill and filled with the pride to be among you and have nothing but love in my heart for all of you and all of humanity. Thank you.